Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SISCA WINDA ARISTA. I'm from 6th semester. In here I will present about my proposal. The title is The Effectiveness of Using Arranging Jumble Sentences Game in Teaching Writing Recontext at 11th Grade Islamic High School Al Mustafa Canggu, Mojokerto. The introduction is why arranging jumble sentences game based on Tarwiyah in Zulaikha 2013, that from the statement can be concluded that game is proper and interesting way in the English teaching learning process because the student will improve their skill, especially in writing. The student can absorb easily what the teacher teach. It is a cause they learn, enjoy, and relax. And then why writing recontext? From Bichner and Bas Turkman and Richards and Renadia, from the explanation above, it can be concluded that there are some causes of student difficulties in writing recontext. So it is the reason why I choose recontext. I want to make the student more easier to study about the recontext. And then the research problems. First, is there any effectiveness of using game arranging jumble sentences in teaching writing recontext? And then how effectiveness is the use of game arranging jumble sentences game in teaching writing recontext? The next is objective of the research. First, to know whether there is an effectiveness or not of using game arranging jumble sentences game in teaching writing recontext, and then to find out the effectiveness of using game arranging jumble sentences game in teaching writing recontext. And then the significance of the research. First, for students, the student will get an interesting and enjoyable experience in writing learning process. For teacher, the teachers can improve their teaching learning method in writing order to get the result as their expectation, and the education organized and then get better output. And the last is the readers. It can give information and contribution the knowledge. Okay, definition of key terms. First, teaching writing. Teaching writing in this study means that the delivering material to the student about how to arrange the jumble sentences into a good paragraph. And the second, recontext. Recontext is a text which retells event or experience in the past. Its purpose is either to inform or to entertain the audience. And the third, arranging jumble sentences game. Arranging jumble sentences game. This study means a game by arranging the disordered sentences into good paragraph. And the next, chapter 2, review of related literature. First, the nature of writing. B, our second, the definition of writing according to Seon. Writing is an activity with some stage or step. C, process of writing. Writing process is process that will illuminate some of the complexities involved in creating a written text. Tompkins said that divided the process of writing into 5 stages, namely pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. And D, teaching writing. According to the Brown, teaching is showing or helping someone to learn how to do something, giving instruction, guiding of study of something, providing with knowledge, causing to understand. E, components of writing. According to Hodges, the component is organizing ID, grammar, language use, vocabulary, mechanics, and organization or generic structure. F, basic of writing. According to Harris, stat at all of the entire skill has a basic in itself, especially in writing. The basic of this skill is something important to develop by the student of the language class. Someone who is study about the language has to mastering the basic first. And G, recontext. According to NAP and what Watkins say that recount is to list and describe past experience by retelling events in the order in which they happened. And recount is a written to retell events with the purpose of either informing or entertaining the audience or both. Okay, H. The arranging jumble sentences game based on Oxford Learner's Pocket Dictionary. Arrange is plan or organize something in advance. And then based on Cambridge, jumble means an untidy and mixture of things, feeling or idea. It also means to make things together untidily, to mix in a confused. And then based on the statement, it can be concluded that jumble sentences game is a kind of game by arranging the disordered sentences into a good arrangement. And then I have a 5 review of related studies. First from Media Study with the title The Effectiveness of Arranging Word Game in Teaching Grammar and Evidence from 8th grade student of SMPN 2 Simpang Alahan Mati Indonesia. The differences are the student use a descriptive quantitative and use total sampling as sampling technique and researching about the teaching grammar. Zulaika, B from Zulaika, using the title is using jumble sentences game to improve the student writing ability in the procedure text of 7th grade student of SMP Negeri 1 Kalinyamatan Jepara in the academic year 2012-2013. The differences are this thesis using classroom action research and the writer to improve the student writing ability, and the kinds of the text. This thesis is procedure text and the writer's thesis using recount and narrative. Astuti, NC Astuti 2012, the title is the influence of using arranging words game towards students simple past tense mastery at second semester of the 8th grade of SMPN 1 Gunung Terang Tulang Bawang Barat in 2016 and 2017 academic year. The differences are this series use quasi-experimental design. This object is teaching grammar, especially simple past tense, and the writer used the instruments in multiple choice question of simple past tense. D. Yola Gately titled The Effectiveness of Using Game in Teaching Grammar to Young Learners, and the differences are this study was designed as a descriptive study with an aim to explore the belief and habits of Turkish EFL teachers towards using game in young learners English classes and use questionnaire to collect data. And E. Wati 2019, the students' ability in arranging jumbles word into simple present sentences at State Vocational High School 1 atau 1 Pendalian 4 Kota Rokan Hulu Regency. The differences are the design of this research is descriptive quantitative, use cluster sampling, and the instrument of the research was a test or arranging jumble words. And then the chapter 3 research method. Research design, I use quantitative design, and the method is a pre-test, post-test, and experimental design. And then the subject of the research, the subject of this research are the student of Islamic Senior High School Al Mustafa, especially 11th grade in the academic year 2021 and 2022. The technique of data collection, first test and questionnaire survey, and the research variable. Arrange the jumble sentences as the independent variable and recount test as the dependent variable. Okay, the procedure text of my research, I have 3, the procedure of the pre-test, and then the procedure of treatments, and the procedure of post-test. And then the technique of analyzing data, I using statistical analyze SPSS program or descriptive statistic. And then technique of validating data, I using the validity test and reliability test with the SPSS program. And then hypothesis. from Sugiono and Arikunta, there is a hypothesis that can be proposed from my first problem statement. A. HO atau HU-nya, the use of arranging jumble sentences method is not effective in teaching writing recontext. And B, H-nya itu the use of arranging jumble sentences method is effective in teaching writing recontext. And my second problem, the hypothesis is H-nya, the use of arranging jumble sentences method is not make the learning writing recontext effective. And then H-nya, the use of arranging jumble sentences method is make the learning writing recontext effective. Okay, the last is my reference. I think enough from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.